Welcome to A Scribe Scribbles, episode number 20. Working from home. Working from home is a dream for many people, but let's face it, taking 2-hour surveys and earning $5 and typing up 10-cent bullshit essays isn't going to cut it. So let's find out how we can begin to break away from the 9 to 5 and work more from home. Why would you ever want to work from home? I mean, I could be wrong here, but there are tons of reasons that I want to work from home. Number one, you're the boss. You have no more boss looking over your shoulder, no more being micromanaged, no more assistant manager Mary coming over and giving you shit because you're doing something that assistant manager Greg told you to do 10 minutes ago. But being your own boss has drawbacks, and you should be aware of this. You have to make the schedules now. There's no punishment for showing up to work late, skipping a day. You're basically responsible for everything, and you don't get to point the finger, you don't get to place the blame on anybody but you, because everything falls on you. And if you can't handle that, and you have to be honest with yourself, but if you can't handle that, you're most likely going to fail when you work from home. The second reason people want to work from home, obviously, financial freedom. And yes, it is true. If you get a gig for $250, you're going to get paid $250. But if you hate doing your taxes, you're not going to like freelance work. You're basically a 1099 employee as far as the government is concerned, and you're going to have to do taxes every quarter. Not just once a year, but 4 times a year. And you have to keep your receipts and your expenses, and everything's going to be separate, and you have to budget your money. You need to set money for taxes aside because most likely you're going to end up paying every quarter. You might need multiple bank accounts. You might have multiple forms of payment that you take, PayPal and Stripe and Google Wallet and checks and ACH transfers. And you're going to need an account for those. And you might want to think about keeping them separate. But the money is there. You just have to be a lot better at budgeting your money. And you have to learn to set this aside. You have to say every time you get a check from a client that part of that has to go towards paying your income tax. You're also responsible for your medical, dental, vision, all of your benefits, all of your health issues. Those all now come out of your pocket. Once you make that switch to working from home, you have to go out and find your own insurances, and you have to do all the work. They're not going to come to you. And that's something that a lot of people forget to think about, especially those of us that have work from home and have families, children. They have to have the insurances, they have to have the doctor visits, and that's now coming out of your pocket. That's coming out of the pay that you get from your clients. So when you look at it, and we'll talk more about this towards the end, but when you look at what it is that you are actually earning, it has to be more than what you are currently earning if you're going to break away from the 9 to 5. If it's just a side hustle and you're going to keep your day job and this is just something you want to do on the side to earn extra money, that's fine. But if you're really serious about working from home and you want to break away from that 9 to 5 and you don't want to get up in the mornings and get ready for work and drive and battle traffic and find parking and go to work and clock in and clock out and deal with Mary and Greg, you're going to have to plan to earn a lot more than you currently make. That's just how it works. But the third reason, and this is arguably one of the most important, that people want to work from home, is that you get to do what you love. Now, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of ways to earn money by working at home. And to be honest with you, I've done quite a few of them. Now, I am a copywriter by trade, an instructor. Obviously, we have the courses and everything's getting put together, but I've done the survey thing, I've done the envelope stuffing thing, and I've tried all these different methods, the drop shipping and the online stores and all that bullshit that promises you all this money. And the potential for it is there if you want to put in the work and the hours and the time and the effort. But I'm fucking lazy, let's face it. And I want to do less work for more money. So I became a copywriter, and writing is what I love. It's a complete passion. It has been for years, and so I get to write every day. And like I've told you in previous podcasts, I average about 10 to 15,000 words written every single day. But none of them actually feel like work because I enjoy it so much. And some of us get lucky and we decide to make this switch to work from home, to be a writer, to be an envelope stuffer, whatever it is that you want to do. And you get to do what it is that you love right off the bat. But the reality of it is that you're not going to be, we'll use writing as an example, you're not going to get to write about everything that you love and put the passion into it that you want right off of the bat. It's going to take a while. For example, I love writing about all things technology, whether it's, a robot vacuum or a home security system or, the current latest and greatest little gizmos and gadgets. And I love doing that stuff. But when I first started out, I was writing articles, I was doing long form articles and blog posts about pretty much anything other than technology. It took me about 9 months to get my first technology writing gig, and of course from there I've been able to maintain. But don't think that, I love to write and I'm going to be a writer and I'm going to work from home and everything's going to be great, because some of these articles, like writing about bed bug poop, yes, I've done that, they're not as fun. And if you stay away from the ones that aren't fun, you're going to have a harder time in the beginning making that money. So you're going to want to take in whatever it is you can get, whether it's an article about bed bug poop or, redoing somebody's homepage on their website. But if it's not something that you're passionate about, it's not going to be as fun, and you're just going to have to buck it up and suck it up and get through it, because you need the experience. And while some people will tell you, only take jobs that you like, if you're trying to break away from your job, you're going to take anything. And that's just how it works. It's part of the process. It's part of the learning curve. But don't expect to quit your job, get a gig the next day as a writer, and be writing about something that you love, because it's probably not going to happen. The startup is hard, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your skirt like some of these people out there trying to sell you their shit is. Because look, working from home is hard for all the reasons that I've mentioned before, with you being your own boss and all that. But look, if you're trying to do everything and break away, you're going to want to try to do things on the cheap or for free. But there's a lot of things that you will have to do. There's a lot of hats you're going to have to put on. Do you need a website? And if so, are you going to outsource that? Are you going to hire that out? Or are you going to learn how to build a website yourself and do it yourself? You got to decide what the website should look like. what needs to be on the website. Obviously your portfolio, your services, your About You page, contact page, the home page, but what kind of images, what kind of action buttons and calls to action and contact me and get people's attention, and how are you ever going to rank on Google when there's so many of us out there doing the exact same thing? You're also going to have to wear your social media hat, and I know a lot of you out there probably have thumbs on Facebook or Instagram right now, but now you've got to look at it from a business point of view, and you have to advertise. You're going to have to advertise. People aren't going to come to, Mary Jane's copywriting services because they've never heard of you. They don't know to look for you. So you have to put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm here. Come find me. I'll meet you in the middle. And advertising does that. Now, there are ways to do social media advertising for free. And I will discuss those in some of my courses. But those methods seldom work. You have to put in hours and hours and hours worth of your time for these free ad type of advertisings to work. And it is possible, but you have to, you have to value your time versus the money. So if you're going to put out, $300 to run ads for a month on Facebook and Instagram versus doing it for free, but it's going to take you 60 hours to get it all set up and functioning, is that worth it? And if it is, great, go for it. If it's not, plop down the $300 and do it the quick and dirty way. You're also going to have to think about emails and phones and phone lines and voice over IPs, and you may decide that you want to use your cell phone as a business phone, or pick up a second cell phone and use two lines, and one for business and one for personal. You might want to just use Skype or Google Hangouts. Whatever those methods are, when you have a client that wants to communicate, you're going to have to be able to accommodate them more than they should have to accommodate you, because you always want to put your best foot forward. So if you have a client that loves Google Hangouts and you've never used it before, you better learn really quick. You don't want to sit there and go, well, can we do Skype because I know it? That's already a red flag for your client. It's a turn off for them. Now they've got to learn something new, and you should be able to make this process as easy for your client as possible. You're going to check emails more than you ever thought possible, and unless your job currently is checking emails, you're going to do it a lot. You're going to write emails. You're going to respond to emails. You're going to respond to follow-ups for emails that didn't get opened or read. You're going to have mailing lists and check them and update them and sort them, and email and client contact and reaching out is going to take up more time than the actual job it is that you are doing from home. So you're going to have to get used to that. There's a lot of back and forth when you pick up a new client, especially the back and forth in the beginning when we're setting everything up. We're deciding on what it is I need done versus how much I want to pay you, and back and forth until you've negotiated everything out. And that can be summed up in a single phone call, or it might take a few weeks. And once you have that client, once everything's negotiated, you're still going to communicate during the course of the project. And you're going to have the back and forth. And if you're writing, you're going to have the edits and the I don't like this part, change this part. And you're going to go back and forth. And then after it's over, you're also going to have the back and forth with, now it's time to pay me. Is everything good? Did you get it posted? Did you get it put up where you wanted it? Is it available for download? Whatever the case may be. And once it's all final and you get paid, then you start over again. And it never ends. And you may get long-term clients. I have a few of them that return weekly. I have clients that are on retainer. I have clients that are one-offs and they just come in, get one thing, and then I never see them again. But you have to maintain that professionalism and that point of contact, and that's where the communication and the emails and the phones and Skype and Google Hangouts and all that come into play. So you're going to have to get used to doing all of that, which you may not be doing right now. But perhaps the best reason, and this could be a personal thing, in fact it probably is, but the best reason to work from home, no alarms. And for people like myself, I hate waking up. I am not a morning person, and I never will be. And I enjoy taking my naps. But it's something you can do when you work from home. You can write for an hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, and then go off and have a snack and take a 2-hour nap. That's not something you can do if you work construction. If you're in an office job and you try to take a 2-hour nap at your desk, you're probably going to get in trouble. But when you work for yourself, your boss pretty much gives you permission to take a nap. The problem is you can't get into this cycle without doing the work. You have to do the work. There's an entire business that you have to run. Let me say that again. There's an entire business that you have to run. And you have to think of it like that. You are the CEO. You are the employee. You are the benefits coordinator. You are reception. You are human resources. You are the IT department. You are the accountant and the attorney. You are the enforcer. You hold every role. You're the marketer. You're the advertising people. You're doing everything. Okay? Right now, whatever it is that you do for a living, all those roles are taken and you hold one of them. When you work from home, you now hold all of them. Now, I've given you all these reasons and then explained them out, and some of it's not as sexy and alluring as working from home is made out to be, is it? And for those of you that are still listening, and all that shit I just said, it's worth it. And I'll tell you right now, if you are willing to learn, and if you are willing to put in the work, and you're willing to do the 60 and 70 hour weeks in the beginning that it takes, and you recognize that it's hard work, especially in the beginning, if you can come to terms with all of that, and you're still excited about doing it, it is worth it. Because look, while you do have all these hats to put on, while you are all of these people now running this business, you don't need to know every nuance of every role in the beginning. You're going to learn as you go. There's going to be mistakes made, of course there are. You're going to have clients that skip out on you and don't pay. You're going to have to chase them down or attempt to get some of your money, and you're going to make those rookie mistakes. Everybody does, and you learn from it. And when you do that, you're going to grow. And if you have been showing an interest in working from home, I'm sure you've done some research, and you've probably seen that there are a shit ton of online resources that'll tell you, oh yeah, this is so easy, follow my little method and you can make $10,000 a month working part-time right from the beach and blah blah blah. Look, it's bullshit. Not all of it. You can make $10,000 a month, probably not part-time. You can work from the beach. I know, I do it. But it's not going to come easy. And it's not going to be some magic little formula that somebody's going to teach you, that you pay $397 for 4 videos to learn how to do it their way, and then all of a sudden next week you're making $10,000. That shit ain't going to happen. So stop thinking that way. Get that out of your mind. You are not in some get-rich-quick scheme. You're here to do work and be rewarded for your work in other ways besides financially. You don't have to go to a business. You don't have to clock in. You can work virtually from anywhere as long as you have internet and electricity. If you have a good battery on your laptop, you can work from the beach. I've had I've had my feet in the sand while I was writing for a client. I've done it. It is possible, and you can make damn good money doing this, but it is a lot of hard work. There isn't a method out there that's turn on a switch, make a lot of money. It doesn't happen that way. It's put in a lot of fucking work and make good money. But again, it's worth it, and it's worth the hard work. It's worth those 60, 70, and sometimes 80-hour weeks and those couple of sleepless nights. But don't fall for those get-rich-quick schemes. If you do this and you give it 12 to 24 months, plan on 12 to 24 months before you decide to quit your 9 to 5. Do this as an extra. And yes, that means you're going to be tired. It means you're going to lose sleep. It means you might forget to have dinner one night. But if you put that work in for 12 to 24 months while you're still doing your 9 to 5, you will see that in the beginning you're going to bring home $50, $200. Couple months in, you might make that $600-700. Now you start seeing the potential, and after that first year, you're gonna know about 90 to 95% of the in and outs of this work from home thing, and you're gonna start to understand it more. And by the end of that 12 to 24 months, you will make enough money to quit your current 9 to 5 job and work full-time from home. Now, I am making you a course that I'm going to call it Starting from Scratch, and it's going to be all about how to work from home with very little to go on. If you're just starting out, if you have no idea what to do, and it's going to be free, I'm giving this away. Okay, I'm not trying to get money off of the rookies. I want to give you this information. I want you to be able to follow this dream and this passion that you have to get out of the grind and do what it is you want to do. So the Starting from Scratch course is just that. It is how to start from scratch with nothing and start earning an income working from home. But why am I giving it away? Look, if you can get a head start from someone who has been exactly where you are right now, that's always nice. And believe me, I'm not worried about competition, and nobody in this business, this work from home thing, should be worried about competition, because there is enough work out there for all of us, and then some. So next week, we're going to expand on this a little more in the podcast. Next week, we're going to look at some of the pitfalls and some of the things to avoid when you're first starting out. But for now, until next week, I want you to think about the money. I want you to plan on how much money it is you're going to have to need to be able to walk away from your current day job. So whatever it is you bring home a month, let's just use round numbers and say you make $2,000 a month. Okay. Whatever your number is, triple it. So if you bring home $2,000 a month, we're going to triple that, $6,000 a month. Not only is $6,000 a month about what you need to earn to cover everything that we talked about, the taxes, the benefits, the medical and health insurances, your groceries, but it's possible. Working from home to triple your income. It is possible. It's not difficult, but it is requiring hard work. But if you currently bring home a paycheck that equals $2,000 a month, going out there, clocking in for 8 hours a day, and coming home, you can do the same thing at home and make $6,000 a month. And we're gonna get there, but again, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take hard work. So right now, I want you to think about what it is that you bring home, and I want you to think about everything that goes into that paycheck. I want you to think about the Medicare and the FICA and the income taxes and the deductions, and what it is that you do with that money before you ever get it. Okay, because you earn X amount of dollars, you bring home a little bit less than that. Now, when you work from home, that little bit less is going to be a lot more, and you are going to have to cover that, which is why I tell you to triple. Some get away with double, and you can, but plan on a triple. So whatever it is you bring home now, you're going to need to bring home triple that when you work from home, and it is possible. So think about those numbers, and until next week, have fun and write words.